The Construction, Education and Training Authority has slammed claims made by NEHAWU as baseless and false. The National Education, Health and Allied Workers Union has called on the Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology to intervene at CETA, accusing the body of poor governance. We're joined now by CETA's Mabo Thobela. Thank you very much, ma'am, for availing yourself this afternoon. And just a note before we continue with the conversation that we have extended, we had extended an invite to NEHAWU, and by the time of going to air, they unfortunately had to attend to another engagement. But according to them, they say they have witnessed maladministration and instability at the CETA under the leadership of CEO Melusi Shezi, and they say they've witnessed a continuous abuse of power and total disregard to governance. Is this something that you are aware of as somebody who works at CETA?
Thank you, Dudu. The Construction, Education and Training Authority was placed under administration by the Minister in February 2020 and exited administration in February 2022. The current CEO, Mr. Melusi Shezi, started 6 months ago and has continued the good work started by the administrator in ensuring good governance in the organization, clean administration, bringing stability to the organization, as well as trying to improve performance in the organization. It is unfortunate for us, and it's rather alarming that we are having to respond to NEHAWU in the media, whereas we have agreed frameworks internally for engagement. Just to give you an example, we have been engaging with our internal shop stewards now in the month of April. We have not had any indication that there is a dispute between us. So we were quite alarmed when they spoke about going on strike. Secondly, there is no abuse of power. What has happened is that Mr. Shezi has instituted an audit to check any procurement awards or tenders that were issued from April 2021 until November 2021, just to check that everything was done correctly. We have cancelled about 5 contracts where we found irregularities. So the clean administration theme continues. We have instituted disciplinary steps against some employees that have done wrong. We have 3 disciplinary hearings taking place at the moment. We had 4, but the employee resigned while we were busy issuing charges. So what Mr. Shezi, who has been in office for 6 months, is being accused of is unfortunately not true.
Are you able to expand on us on the disciplinary steps against employees that have been found to have done wrong? What is the wrong that they have done? The union alleges that management of CETA fly business class and travel with luxury hired cars beyond working hours, exorbitant rental for the administrator in posh apartments, and pension fund benefits abuses.
Okay, so let me start with the disciplinary steps that have been taken against employees. As I stated before, there were 4. The first one is where the employee resigned with immediate effect. She was going to be disciplined for submitting and using a fraudulent qualification to get employment within the CETA. The second one was the employee who facilitated the employment of that employee who had a fraudulent qualification, but that also includes irregularly extending contracts of interns or temporary employees, causing irregular expenditure, failing to comply with the Employment Equity Act. That is the second disciplinary hearing. The third one has to do with the disruptions that were done at the gate, where an employee caused disruptions and unfortunately prevented other employees from trying to access the office. The fourth one has to do with a break-in that took place in the office of the CEO in December 2021. We were on break. This employee was informed of the incident but failed to take the appropriate steps to ensure that the office of the CEO was secure. So those are the disciplinary steps that are being taken. Let us talk about the pension fund matter. The pension fund matter is a historical matter, and it is one of the reasons that the CETA was placed under administration. There was a forensic investigation that was done to deal with this matter. The report has been submitted to the department, and this is something that we have communicated to all employees internally, as well as with NEHAWU when we had a meeting with them at the end of February, to say once that forensic investigation report has been tabled by the minister, it will become public and we will all have access to it. With regards to executives traveling in luxury, we have requested NEHAWU to give us evidence of that, because from where we stand, that is not true. I was traveling last week and I hired a Toyota Corolla. If that is a luxury vehicle that we are being accused of traveling in, then let us discuss that. So we've asked NEHAWU not to make allegations in the media that seek to destroy the reputations of people. Bring the evidence. We've invited them to ensure that that evidence is submitted to the correct authorities so that proper investigations can be made and people held accountable. It doesn't help to make allegations in the media that you have not even made internally to try and find answers or responses. So that we are finding it very difficult as an organization that is trying to improve its performance and build relations with our stakeholders while we are not getting along with one of our key stakeholders, which is NEHAWU. And as I'm saying, it's unfortunate that we're doing it in the media because we've got platforms internally that we have agreed on as parties for engagement.
NEHAWU has gone a step further, issuing a threat saying that the CETA must embrace for itself or brace itself for a real fight. They have given you an ultimatum of 7 working days to respond to the plight of their members, else they would take to the streets on the 3rd of May. Your response to that?
Thank you, Dudu. My response is very simple. As I said, I met with NEHAWU's job stewards internally at the end of April. And some of the issues that we are discussing now were discussed in that meeting. I also corresponded with them after that meeting, giving them the answers that they were requesting. And those answers had to do with the fact that the forensic report still has to be tabled by the minister. We also requested a meeting with NEHAWU now in April. I think the request went out on the 9th of April. They did not respond to us. They responded on the 19th of April. And in their response, they said to us that they would be checking their diaries and would be coming back to us. We have subsequently sent a reminder to remind them that we do need to meet. And let me tell you what the meeting is about. It's about normal everyday issues, including occupational health and safety, employment equity, and just generally what can be done to better conditions in the organization. In these engagements, there has not been any indication that there is a dispute between the parties. It would be unfortunate for NEHAWU to go to the streets and strike, whereas they have not exhausted any of the steps, the dispute resolution steps that are agreed to in our framework. However, we do recognize their democratic right to protest, and we know that they are well versed with the law and they will follow all the prescripts of the law.
Mabo Thobela, CETA Executive Manager of Strategic Support, thank you very much for helping us make sense of all of that. And for the purpose of our viewers, we had invited NEHAWU to respond, or to rather table their allegations, and unfortunately they could not join us as they had other engagements for today.